Real quick, I have a slight rant. I feel like I try my best not to rant often, but it's just something on my heart that I feel like we have to talk about, and that is our edges. Our hairline, it honestly was a conversation that came out of the salon. I had a guest, and the way in which they were talking about how much they hated their hairline, I was like, oh, like this is a thing. It must be a trauma or something. Like, if you have a tuft of hair, like a little patch of hair that is unruly, that sticks out, or if you have it's similar to baby hair, but it's just long. So it's like, it's supposed to go in a lock, but it doesn't quite reach. But it's outside of your lock, essentially. If that applies to you, if you have hair like that as your hairline, love on it. Love on it. It doesn't need to be slicked down. Our edges, especially our edges with locks, they don't need to be slicked down, gelled down all the time. And yes, I understand this is coming from the chick. My first original name on here was Curly New Growth. Yes, my hair is super silky and curly. However, my hair right up in here, all right, this hair, like everything else is super curly. This right here, my edges, they got some kink to it, okay? So I feel like I can speak on it. It's okay. It's okay. All right. There is a deep-seated push with the media, with all the images you see, with all of the things that we typically are going to see are going to have people with slick down baby hair, smooth hair, going to tell you okay, you have locks, you want your hair to be neat for an interview or something like that, or you want to be professional, at the very least, slick your edges down. And that is rooted in something that is not our hair. Like, our hair does not naturally do that. Our hair defies gravity. It wants to curl. It wants to raise. It wants to be poofy. It wants to be puffy. It wants to move and react. For real, we have to really unlearn the trauma with our edges, with our hairline, so that we can have edges. People spend so much time trying to gel their edges down or put edge control on their hairline all the time, or taking toothbrushes or mini brushes or just regular brushes and smoothing down the hairline, and then wonder why 30 years later, after doing this, 20 years later, 5 years later, your edges are thinning or your hairline is thinner than the rest of your hair. Think about the habits that you have now and how they're showing up in your hair care. Take some time. Go stand in the mirror. Look at yourself with your edges untamed, just out in the open, and say, I love you. I love you. I am so glad that you are here. I'm so glad that my edges are full. I'm so glad that my hair is healthy. I am happy to have healthy hair. I'm happy to have full hair. Affirm yourself. It is so important, because if you just let the things that you're seeing be your mirror and how you're supposed to look, how are you going to be happy? How are you going to embrace your hair? How are you going to have peace with your hair if your outer aesthetic essentially is based on someone other than yourself? Right? I got this tuft. Where's my little tuft? Where's she at? My little tuft, you see her? She be hanging out. I'll be trying to wrap her around some locks. Maybe I'll try to put some locks over it. But what I'm not going to do is sit and gel my hair down all the time. I'm just not doing that, because it's unnecessary. I want this piece of hair to stay here. I touched on this a little bit in a short, I want to say a few days ago or whatever. The comments were very mixed. Some were like, okay, yes, I like my hair to be fuzzy. I don't take my hair, cool, whatever. But other comments was like, oh, you got some little hair right there, turn it into a lock. It doesn't need to be a lock. Especially for women of childbearing age. This is me coming to you as your loctician, as your digital loctician. If you have a small piece of hair right here and you don't have micro locks or sister locks, little pieces of hair on your hairline do not need to be locks, because over time they will thin and break off, because you're like, I'm not gonna get into why, but just take a minute. Embrace your hair, embrace your edges, love on your edges. So in 20, 30, 40 years, we got edges. We're going to be out here with our silver hair, our silver locks, and our edges are going to be popping. All right. I want that for you. I want that for me, and I want that for you. All right. So can we embrace our edges? Drop a diamond in the comments if you're here for embracing your edges and your hairline. And if it's going to take you some time, maybe you got to kind of work it in. Maybe just challenge yourself to 1 week in a month, or maybe 1 week. Challenge yourself to 1 week a month, like just no gelling, no slicking down your edges, and just, let it build. See how it feels. You gotta, in order to grow with something, you gotta sit with it. All right. So just thank you for listening to me rant. If you have similar sentiments or want to offer something affirming to somebody who may be being challenged to embrace their edges, drop it in the comments below. I truly appreciate you being part of the family. Thank you so much for all of the love. And as always, I'm wishing you peace, love, and goodbye.